In 2013, a man was convicted of murder without a body.
Guilty.
By the spring of 2013, a verdict stunned a quiet town. Someone had been convicted in a case where no body was ever found. No crime scene, no blood, no remains. Just a missing woman and a jury convinced beyond reasonable doubt. That alone made this case different. Emily Parker was 26, a graphic designer, new job, new apartment, no enemies, according to friends, no warning signs, according to family. And then she vanished. One ordinary Tuesday morning, Emily left her apartment just after 7:40 a.m. She locked the door. Security cameras caught her walking toward her car. That was the last confirmed sighting. Her car was found 3 days later, parked neatly, unlocked, no damage. Her purse was inside. Her phone was gone. Police called it suspicious, but not alarming. At first, Emily's bank account stayed untouched. Her social media went silent. No calls, no texts, no pings. She had plans that weekend. Dinner with her sister, a birthday party, a work deadline she'd stressed about for weeks. Emily Parker did not disappear on purpose. Investigators focused on the people closest to her. Friends, coworkers, and then her ex-boyfriend, Mark Lewis. They had broken up 6 months earlier. A messy ending. Friends said Mark was controlling. Emily's sister said he wouldn't let go. Mark said they were on good terms. He said he hadn't seen her in weeks. He said he was asleep the morning she vanished. But then came the first inconsistency. Phone records showed Mark's phone pinged near Emily's apartment at 6:58 a.m. He lived across town. He claimed it was a routing error. Police didn't buy it. Then came witness number one, a neighbor who said she heard arguing that morning. A man's voice, a woman crying. She couldn't be sure it was Emily, but she thought it was. No one called 911. No one saw anyone leave together. Still, suspicion grew. Detectives searched Mark's car. Nothing. They searched his apartment. Nothing. No DNA. No fibers. No signs of violence. Weeks turned into months. The case stalled until a single email changed everything. An anonymous tip landed in a police inbox. It claimed Mark had confessed during a drunken argument at a bar. No date. No witnesses named. Just words. Police tracked down the bar. Tracked down patrons. No one remembered anything. But prosecutors pressed forward anyway. They had a theory. They believed Mark confronted Emily that morning. An argument escalated. She threatened to leave town. He panicked. They said he killed her. Somehow. Somewhere. And then disposed of her body so perfectly that nothing was ever found. No body. No weapon. No confession. Just a story. And in 2013, that story went to trial. The courtroom was packed. Media everywhere. Headlines screamed, "Can you convict without a body?" The prosecution relied on circumstantial evidence. Phone pings. Relationship history. Behavior after the disappearance. They said Mark deleted messages. They said he searched suspicious terms online. How long does it take a body to decompose? Can GPS be wrong? Mark said he was grieving, panicking, afraid. The defense hammered one point again and again. Where is Emily? No forensic proof. No timeline that held up. No motive strong enough for murder. Then came the shock. A surprise witness. Emily's co-worker testified that Emily had confided something just days before she vanished. She said Emily was scared, not of Mark, of someone else, a man she met online, someone who knew where she lived, someone who had shown up uninvited. The name was never revealed in open court. Police had never investigated this lead. The jury heard anyway. Still, after 6 hours of deliberation, they returned a verdict. Guilty. The courtroom gasped. Emily's family cried. Mark collapsed. Convicted of murder without a body. Sentenced to life. Case closed. Or so it seemed. Years later, cracks began to show. A journalist reviewing the case noticed something strange. The phone ping data used at trial had been misinterpreted. The tower covered a much wider area than the jury was told. Mark's phone could have been miles away. Then came another bombshell. Emily's phone. It had never been turned off. It last pinged a tower near a highway rest stop 2 days after Mark was already under surveillance. Police dismissed it as an error at the time. But what if it wasn't? Then a hiker came forward. Years later, he said he saw a woman matching Emily's description near that same rest stop. Disoriented, asking for help. No report was filed back then. He thought she was just passing through. The prosecution called it unreliable. Too late. Too vague. But doubt had crept in. And then, one final twist. A storage unit was discovered under a false name. Rented the week after Emily disappeared. Inside were women's clothes, a laptop, and a journal. Not Emily's handwriting, but entries describing watching her waiting for the right moment. She trusts me now. The name on the lease did not belong to Mark. The case was reopened quietly. No press release. No announcement. And somewhere out there, the question still hangs in the air. Was Emily Parker murdered? Was the wrong man convicted? Or did Emily survive long enough for the truth to slip through the cracks? Because until her body or her voice is found, this case isn't over. The phone ping wasn't a glitch. That's where everything unraveled. 2 days after Emily Parker vanished, her phone connected to a cell tower near a highway rest stop, 40 miles from her apartment. At that time, Mark Lewis was already under surveillance. Police were watching him, following him, logging his movements. He never left town. So who had Emily's phone? Investigators dismissed the signal as a technical error. One line in a report, never followed up. Years later, an investigative journalist found it buried in the case file. And that's when the story changed. Emily's family never believed the verdict. Her mother kept the same routine every morning. Coffee untouched, phone beside her plate, waiting. Her father replayed Emily's voicemail messages. Again and again. They pushed for answers. They were ignored until one detective, off the record, admitted something disturbing. There had been another person of interest. Someone police never disclosed in court. Emily had been seeing someone. Not Mark. A man she met online. A freelance photographer. Charming. Quiet. Too quiet. Emily told a co-worker he knew her schedule. Her route to work. Her apartment layout. She said he showed up once without asking. That name never appeared in the trial. Why? Because investigators ruled him out too quickly. No search warrant. No phone records pulled. No alibi checked thoroughly. And then he vanished from the investigation. The journalist tracked him down. Or tried to. The name on the dating profile was fake. But the photos weren't. Reverse image searches led to a storage facility, rented under a different alias, just days after Emily disappeared. Police had never searched it. When a unit was finally opened, years later, what they found shocked everyone. Women's clothing. Not Emily's size. Not Emily's style. A burner phone and a journal. The journal wasn't subtle. It described watching a woman, learning her habits, gaining her trust. One entry stood out. She thinks I'm just helping her move on. She doesn't know how easy this has been. The last entry was dated the night Emily disappeared. Then came the witness police never followed up with. A hiker. He came forward after seeing Emily's face on a documentary episode about wrongful convictions. He recognized her immediately. He said he saw her near a rest stop 2 days after she vanished. Disoriented. Scared. She asked for help. He thought it was a domestic argument situation. He didn't want trouble. So he left. That rest stop matched the phone ping. Exactly. Prosecutors insisted Mark's conviction was still valid. They argued Emily could have been forced to carry her phone. But new digital analysis told a different story. The phone showed signs of manual use. Messages drafted but never sent. Location services toggled on and off. Emily was alive. After Mark was already being watched. Then, the final revelation hit. The photographer, Emily's online contact, had a criminal history. Not violent, not public, but disturbing. He specialized in voyeur photography, unauthorized images, women unaware they were being watched, several restraining orders, different states, different names. He had disappeared shortly after Emily vanished, left the country. The case exploded. Public pressure mounted. Legal experts tore apart the original trial. The phone data was misrepresented. The witness testimony was unreliable. Key evidence was withheld from the jury. Mark Lewis appealed, and after 11 years behind bars, his conviction was overturned. But Emily Parker was still missing. No body, No confirmation, just fragments of truth. Investigators believe Emily left her apartment willingly that morning. Not with Mark, but with someone she trusted. Someone who knew exactly what to say. They believe she was held for days, maybe longer. What happened after that remains unknown. Emily's family still waits. They don't say closure. They say answers. Because one question remains. The most terrifying one of all. If Emily was alive days after she vanished, and the wrong man went to prison, then what really happened to Emily Parker? And is the person responsible still out there?